Yes.
That would be me. We're
All right.
Okay.
Yay.
There we go. Now we are recording. Yep, I see.
Now, for those watching on the recording, welcome. We had a little bit of a challenge identifying who could actually set the recording, but we're ready to go now.
Great.
All right, so you want me to kick it off, Deb?
Sure.
All right, if you want to go ahead and flip it forward. So not quite a year ago, it was actually, there were trees starting to bloom when we were there last time, which apparently is definitely not the case today. But just short of a year ago, we had the chance to meet with all of you, and you provided us with very candid and invaluable feedback. And in the process of that discussion, we really identified 4 areas that universally we felt were really key priorities for us to work on in our partnership. And these were those 4 areas. So we talked a lot about relevance and awareness of atomic learning, and the fact that because so many people identified purely with the how-to resources, the relevance of the resources were becoming less and less important, because you can find a lot of that information for free out on YouTube and Google. So we spent a lot of time talking about things that had evolved in the types of courses Atomic Learning offered, but really were not very high awareness within the AEAs. So that was definitely a key priority. As Karen already mentioned, we talked about the fact that we really needed to figure out some better authentication options so that we could make sure that access was something that was not a barrier for anyone. We also talked about looking at the skills assessment as a resource for improved learning outcomes, and then we finally talked about the sustainability of the pricing structure. And based on those discussions and the identification of those 4 areas, that's where we really put our energy in building and implementing a plan over the course of the past year that would really hone in on each of these 4 areas and build a very aggressive plan that would involve all of you. So today, what we really want to share are some of the specific examples of the ways that that plan has actually started to be carried out and is coming to light with each of the AEAs, and highlight some of the specific successes for each of these areas so that we can learn from each other and continue to apply that and be able to have that plan continue to come to life in fun and exciting and meaningful and relevant ways. So that's what we want to do today.
Great. Thanks, Lisa, for the kickoff. And please, if anyone does have any questions or anything as we're going about, please don't hesitate in interrupting and asking those questions as they do occur. So the first area that of success or impact or progress that we want to discuss today is around addressing relevancy and awareness to the needs of the educators and the students and such in Iowa. And originally, after we met about a year ago, we had come up with an idea of doing a survey results that we could send out and have different users throughout Iowa complete in order to gain a better understanding of where they felt they needed further help, and so we could address those needs. And while that idea was really good, we recognized that maybe the management of sending out an actual survey to thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands individuals is not easily manageable. So actually what started as an idea for Iowa actually developed into a great tool that we use not only with Iowa, but with a number, with all of the Atomic Learning partners that we have out there right now. And that's what you see on the screen here today. Is our Discover tab, and when any of your teachers, your staff, your students, your parents, anyone in Iowa logs into Atomic Learning, they're going to be presented with this particular tab that allows them to select up to 3 different areas in which they feel they would like further assistance in. So this is a way for us to garner what is relevant to your users, and we can actually capture that information too and be able to address some of our further plans moving forward on gee, it appears that a lot of individuals from this particular AEA or from this particular district seem to be very interested in this particular topic, and that can really help Christine align her support and such that she's providing to Iowa by us trying to uncover those needs of your students, teachers, staff, everyone there in Iowa. So.
And Deb, if I remember correctly, the preliminary data that started to come in now, the most common topic selected in Iowa is pedagogical.
Yes.
And instructional practice. Yes.
Exactly. So it looks like a lot of people are looking for assistance around keeping up with those instructional changes and changes in pedagogy. So, all right. Moving on, another area that we touched upon, and we're going to jump into some examples from some of the school districts and some of the AEAs there in Iowa. But this was something that was shared last year when we met with many of you. These are some of the top issues that we see occurring throughout all educational institutions, maybe some more prevalent than others at certain districts or institutions. But these are really areas that as we do what we do here at Atomic Learning, from the development of our resources to the way we support our current partners to the way we really promote what we have, we do that around these 5 particular topics because we know these are pressing issues with many educators. So we keep these in mind in all that we do, and today I'm going to pass it on to Christine, and she's going to share some of the impacts that we've had throughout Iowa in helping to address some of these common concerns. So Christine?
Thank you, Deb. And good morning to everybody. For those on webcams, it's nice to be able to see you, Deb C. It's nice to be able to actually get to see what you look like, so hi. We're going to start with kind of getting the greatest impact from technology. Both of the examples that we have to share are from, ironically, with Deb, AEA 267. One of them would be Steve Noyes, who's the Director of Technology for Independent School Districts. And what they're looking at is they have a Canvas implementation that they've done over this past year. All of the high school teachers are supposed to put all of their instructional content into the platform, getting it all ready to go, and they were hoping it would be a great smooth thing, 100% everybody in right away, but they've had some teachers, typically more of our later adopters, that have kind of struggled with getting things into that platform. And so as I was working with Steve, actually, and I met with him again yesterday, looking at developing a plan to combine some of our resources that we have with our various Canvas trainings, along with the independent school district resources, to help develop a Canvas skills course that they could take. It could be assigned to the teachers that are struggling. They could take it, and then we could have tracking and reporting features as well. So the hopeful outcome would be that they would actually be successful. They successfully move through the Canvas course and be comfortable with that new platform and ready to go for their students. Another example that we have with that one, again in AEA 267, is Nicole Critchfield. She teaches out of the Marshalltown Learning Academy, which is an alternative school environment for students. And her need was just needing to provide that alternative and kind of a blended learning environment to help students. A lot of times they're there for various reasons, including credit recapturing. And so we've been working with her, and she's been a great partner and working on a self-paced blended learning environment for her students. Whether it's an example would be a particular Google apps like Google Slides or Google Sheets, as she's working with them with her technology courses. They're able to actually go through them at their own pace. She uses some of our tech skills assessments as well to do kind of some pre and post assessing. The students can watch it again as needed. We have an excellent quote for her that, and Karen, we will send you this PowerPoint as well to share with everybody. But she just was so excited that the teachers could go ahead and then facilitate more than having to always be that sage on the stage. They could go through and help the students that needed that reteaching and reassessment, and the other ones that didn't could actually keep moving forward and push ahead at their pace. So it allowed them to really be a great partner for their young adults that they're working with.
Great. some very exciting examples that we have there, and we've got many more here that Christine's looking forward to sharing. The next area that Christine's going to talk about here is the area that Lisa mentioned is actually the one of greatest interest according to the Discovery results that we've seen, not only within Iowa, but also within all of our K-12 partners that we currently work with. So.
And that one would be keeping up with those instructional changes. Many of you I have been meeting with on a regular basis, and you guys know how passionate I am about this area, being an educator myself. So we also wanted to provide you some of the items that we've added in some of our content ideas, just in case for those that haven't maybe been on this site as recently. So I know you have a big early literacy initiative. It's a statewide initiative. One of our most popular items is differentiating reading instruction for those main ideas and details. It's an excellent series looking at getting into the heart of differentiation within that reading content area. Also, the 21st century or future ready learners now, so integrating the 4 C's into your classroom. It shows great classroom examples on each of the areas, so your communication, collaboration, creativity, and critical thinking. One of our newer series is using technology to support and fulfill student standards. A lot of times teachers struggle with understanding really how to marry the standards with the technology that they're expected to utilize within their classrooms. It's an excellent way to help people learn how to do that. Minecraft and project-based learning, PBL, is all the rage, and so is Minecraft. If you have any small children in your house or grandchildren thereof, they know and love that Minecraft. So it shows a great way to actually be able to shift it and let students use their passion for Minecraft in an academic setting and helping them learn. Standard Model, again, another one of our very popular series, helping with the different levels of tech integration. Also working to target instructional needs with Atomic Learning, especially as you as AEA leads are looking at being able to help your media librarians, your instructional coaches, how to help them help their teachers. This is an excellent series to help kind of get things started in that direction. Another one along the lines of kind of enhancing a project-based learning environment is applying the Genius Hour in the classroom. It's a fantastic project process. It gets really great into the details and the heart of each part of the process along the way. It's also an excellent idea for gifted and talented students, just a side note. And then how to plan with purpose, looking at effective professional development. As educators, we've all sat in the big auditoriums or the big gymnasiums and listened to the one person talk for 5 hours at a time for the professional development, but we actually want it to be more effective. And so this gives some great ideas and great tips. So whether it's maybe a professional development committee member for a district or an administrator that's really kind of struggling with making things effective, this can really help them out. Writing effective learning outcomes, an excellent idea, an excellent series to help people kind of get some solid outcomes written as they're looking at their curricular areas for the year, as well as classroom management strategies. We're kind of hitting that point now where the honeymoon after Christmas is probably over, and some of the newer teachers could probably use a little bit of help, and sometimes some of the seasoned ones could use another idea. So the classroom management strategies can be an excellent item to help them out.
And this is just a fraction of what's added over
a small fraction.
Year. I think as we look back and we met with you just almost a year ago, a lot of these weren't yet developed. Maybe some of them were in the works, and this was, this was really a direction we were starting to move into and more of this, this area. But I think really just our meeting with you and hearing that what you need is what's relevant to your instructors and to your teachers there, that really helped kind of create some urgency in helping to move in this direction. And so, this is just a fraction of some of the way we've moved. But
the other side, kind of getting to what we were talking with Norma earlier, yes, we do have some exciting new series that we've also added with specific emphases on some special populations of students. One of them is a quick look at apps for special needs, kind of more of a general broad-based look at students of various special needs. We have a brand new one that just came out, goodness, within the last week or two here, as a special education primer for mainstream teachers. Fantastic new series. If you haven't checked it out yet, definitely please do so. It's going to be a great one to help all the classroom teachers kind of get a better handle on things. Supporting gifted and talented learners. They're a population that tends to sometimes kind of get left on the side because of maybe they're doing well, you know they're going to pass those test scores and achieve the goals, but finding ways to further support them and actually understand some of their needs, getting into things like executive functioning issues as well. And then we have our Tech for Students series. We've got 4 of them so far in total. One of them is for students on the autism spectrum, kind of middle to secondary level. One is for general learning disabilities, looking at your ADHD and again, some executive functioning items. And then one specifically for dyslexia and one specifically for dysgraphia as well. So again, trying to kind of help teachers, classroom teachers understand the needs and how they can actually help students if they have students with these needs in their classrooms.
But now to highlight some of the examples of some of the impacts and starting of success stories we've had here in Iowa.
Yep. So Deb C, this is where I said we were going to bring you in. I call them my pair of Debs. It's Deb C and Deb V. We've been working really hard and we're doing great. I'm really excited for this. What they were looking at is having kind of a lack of some integration of technology in the classrooms. So we're starting with a train the trainer model that we're going to be doing on February 17th. They're going to help their teacher librarians, integrations, and tech consultants. The current outcome is to kind of enhance the district PD offerings throughout the AEAs by integrating some of our resources into their professional learning offerings. And then the ultimate outcome from the DEBS is to enhance student skills by fully integrating our resources into the classroom setting. So again, I'm really excited. These ladies have put a lot of time and effort into it, and we're going to rock out that professional development thing on the 17th. So, right, Deb?
Right, and in addition, we were also hoping to come up with some possibilities that we can use this for our own internal staff development. So we've got a multiple-fold hope and plan for our training.
Excellent.
Great.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's been fun. I have to say this last year of getting to work with each of the different AEAs has been a lot of fun because of just the passion that is there with each of you and helping your teachers. So another great example would be Tricia, who I know is also on the phone. Tricia and I have been working together and doing a series of different webinars trying to help, again, meeting those demands of that classroom technology, as well as some of the statewide initiatives with the early literacy and some college and career readiness. We started hosting some webinars back in October. We've been hosting a series of different webinars for teacher librarians and instructional coaches to help meet the needs of the teachers when those librarians and coaches go back to their districts or go back to their school buildings. So with the ultimate goal of that digital literacy of students actually being very comfortable with the technologies used in and outside of their classrooms. So thank you, Tricia. It's been a lot of fun so far.
Thank you.
I know. Another one is actually the same gal that we spoke about earlier, which is Nicole from Marshalltown. And how this kind of is a little bit of a different part of this scenario is actually Tricia ran into a colleague that ended up with a family emergency who needed to actually be out of the classroom for several weeks. They were able to get a sub to come in, but unfortunately this sub, it was computer classes, technology classes. The sub was not familiar with the technology that was there. And so she needed to have something that the students would be able to stay on pace, keep going, and continue that learning process. And as the quote says, her solution was atomic learning. And so what she was able to do then is to integrate some of the courses which thankfully she had already been working on and was very comfortable with our resource, to get those students, keep them going on pace, help them out with the assessments, utilizing our tech skills assessments to keep them going and meet those individual needs of students. And so the outcome being that the students were able to stay on pace for the course. So it was a great example of right directly into the classroom.
That's great. So another big area of focus at Atomic Learning the past year has been really looking at how can we reimagine the way that learners can best apply our courses. So what we started working on was we took the Understanding by Design model and we sought to develop an enhanced outcome-based learning model for all of our courses. And this is a learning model that's now being incorporated into all of our new courses, as well as many of our most popular courses. And it follows this approach that we call Learn It, Do It, See It, Prove It. So the premise behind the learning model is that we really want to be able to be a resource that can help meet a learner when they're asking themselves this question of, I am stuck, now what? But we want the learning model to be, like I said, much more outcome-based and really be able to be relevant to whatever their learning style is. So we've broken our courses into these ITs, the Learn It, Do It, See It, Prove It. And Learn It is probably the most aligned to what you'd be familiar with in Atomic Learning. It's where you're actually consuming the information, but we're trying to use a lot more best practices in those Learn Its. The Do It is a really exciting new component of that. So once you've actually been able to learn the information, we want you to be able to feel like you can apply it in relevant ways for your situation. So we've got different exercises, ideas, practice things that allow you to actually do something, apply that learning. The areas that we're excited that will be coming in the future are the See It's and the Prove It's. So the See It is all about being able to connect and collaborate and talk about the learning and get feedback from others. And really, in Iowa, with the AEA structure, you're actually quite well equipped to have this See It piece be even different than what we've imagined. And I think Deb and I have a few ideas that we'll share at the end of today's discussion related to possibilities as it relates to See It. And then the Prove It's are all about being able to document your progress. So there will be components that you'll start to see in the courses over the next year that start to provide learners with the ability to actually prove their learning and be able to document that and have that as an artifact of the fact that they've figured out how to apply that learning in relevant ways for their classroom or for themselves. So we're really excited about this. I think that you're going to see changes on a fairly regular basis within the courses that will start to have this Learn It, Do It, See It, Prove It learning model really start to come to life.
Great. And we'll be highlighting some here in a little bit
Yep.
that really touch right now on the Learn It and Do It. Very excited about that.
So providing that flexible training and learning opportunities. Well, as you all know, with us being a 24/7 platform kind of overall, we do lend ourselves very easily to be able to be providing teachers, students, parents with that flexible opportunity to be able to utilize our resources and learn and engage with our content. So I do have more examples. Karen, you said you wanted examples. You're getting lots of examples today. One of them is Jessica in Green Hills. She's been actually utilizing Atomic Learning's resources for quite a while to help provide customized professional development for her teachers. They utilize it a lot of times during the summer. That way the teachers don't necessarily need to come in. They can actually, you know, like she quotes at the bottom, you know, learn in the comfort of their pajamas if need be, or, you know, you don't necessarily see the glass of wine or beer next to them as they're doing it because it's summertime. But just helping them also then getting re-energized and learning new skills that they'll be able to take into the classroom then that fall. And so we've been working with her for a while now, creating custom PD trainings. I think she currently has 12 of them on her site, with the custom training feature. She utilizes her own items. She records some fantastic and exciting little introduction items to introduce each of the training. So they're getting Green Hills and Atlantic Community School District specific content along with our content to provide those great ideas for them. A couple of the titles that she has for topics, one of them is, and I quote, "Can't wait to start coding in my classroom." And another one is, "I'm ready for the Google Classroom." So, and again, she's got over a dozen of them currently functioning up on her site. So her ultimate outcome was that flexible professional development. Those educators getting to pick and choose from the variety of items that she's built and has to offer them, deciding when they want to do it, how in depth they want to go with their learning, and again, just working through as a partnership. And so when you do get this PowerPoint here later this morning from Karen, it does also have a link to one of her videos introducing her course, because it is a great and a very energetic example. Another one would be Sue Heiling. She's been working to meet the needs of her district leadership team's PD initiatives. And so what she's developed is a great professional development series called Learn More About the 4 Cs. She was able to integrate a bunch of different elements within our resources and her resources to provide training opportunities for her teachers on this as well as the SAMR model as she has moved forward with items, with the ultimate outcome is being able to provide teachers with the knowledge and skills they need for those future-ready students and the learning environments that they come within it. And that was Sue, and she was from Calumet, Wheatland. I apologize if I killed Calumet, but it's in the Mississippi Bend AEA.
So early in 2015, we spent a lot of time within our product group conducting interviews with college faculty, some high school seniors, some incoming freshmen and first year students in college. And what we were really trying to understand is, are students effectively prepared for that first year of college? And are there ways that we could look at trying to help support reducing that first year dropout of college students? And there were a few key things that we found through those interviews. The first is that while students may be academically ready for that first year of college, they're lacking some critical, and they will self-admit this, they're lacking some critical skills in areas like soft skills, life skills, and even though they may have really well-developed thumbs when it comes to technology, they really are lacking skills in how to actually apply technology to their academic setting in that first year of college in particular. And through the process of those interviews, we ended up releasing a number of new courses that kind of fall into a few key areas, career and soft skills, as well as college readiness topics. So you can see some of the list of topics there. The career and soft skills are really more around those skills that are pretty critical to be able to effectively work with teams, work with other individuals, to listen more effectively, to manage your time. And while we kind of phrase this as being helping students be prepared for college, I would say that these are just as effective for teachers, for any kind of professionals. I know that we have a large number of our team members that have gone through courses like the time management and have been able to draw a lot of great professional development insights from that. And then the bottom set actually should, I think, say college readiness. Great topics, not just for that first year freshman in college, but for the juniors and seniors and those upper grades in the secondary education group, to really help them think through the things beyond just what college do I want to go to, but how can I make sure that I really have everything that I need to be able to be set up to be successful. And like the other examples that we showed that Deb mentioned, this is just a sampling of some of those courses, but I know in the higher ed segment that we work with, those career or college readiness topics are now becoming some of the very top course topics that we're seeing usage from. So pretty good thing.
A number of higher ed institutions are using those in like their freshman orientation courses.
Yep.
But great for even your parents too.
Yes,
Because
yes.
remember, your parents have access to this and they're probably needing to fill out a lot of those financial aid documentations and FAFSA forms and so forth. So
And they're probably the most motivated to not have that student drop out in that first year.
Yes.
They don't want those dollars to go to waste.
Well, and the ones that they had listed, Deb, can you bring that one back up
oh,
for just
yep,
a second?
sorry.
The ones that are listed that you see with the question marks at the end are part of that new learning model. And so one thing to be aware of, since they do have the Learn It and the Do It, for classroom teachers that are teaching maybe a college and careers course, they are pretty much classroom ready. That's kind of like a prepackaged little lesson plan ready to go, because you've got all of the knowledge and the information elements, and then you also have the Do It, so the students would have their assignment on how they would be able to apply the knowledge from there as well. So just kind of a heads up as you're taking a look at those elements. One of the examples for the AEA, I started working with Hannah from Keystone. She's the school improvement facilitator. And so we're looking at trying to help ensure that those students are future ready. So we've started working on getting our resources into their the CTE Careers Online resource site. That's going to be our first step that we've started getting those items ready to go and getting things updated for her. And then moving into then also providing the CTE teachers themselves with some knowledge and some assistance and support to be able to help them with the classroom resources to expand their toolkits as they go into and work with the different students at the districts. So again, trying to get them to be that future ready, whether they're ready or not. Here we come. Our last item deals with engaging learners. And student engagement is a very hot topic, as is digital citizenship. A great example that we have in terms of looking at engaging students is Kurt. He does go from Southeast Webster Middle School, which is part of the Prairie Lakes AEA. And he teaches he has 4 different grades, and so he does different technology and digital citizenship classes throughout the year. He gets students for about a trimester each year. And then what he tries to do is he incorporates not only some of our resources, but gets really in depth into some of our tech integration projects. He uses those very, very heavily, as well as our ISTE student assessment. The students complete that ISTE student assessment as a pre-assessment, and then he assigns them the related integration courses that go the projects depending on the results of their ISTE assessments. He also utilizes our tech skills assessments very heavily as both pre and post assessments to help check for understanding for students as they go. But it helps to keep them really engaged in the learning process. They're able to go again at their own pace, provide that differentiation while they're developing some of that digital literacy and citizenship skills as they go. So Kurt has been a fantastic partner in utilizing our resources and support. Now, kind of taking a look, when I mentioned those assessment resources, I just wanted to give a real quick kind of mini shout outs to a few other people who are doing a great job of using various different assessments. Barbara at the Jessup School, she utilizes our ISTE student assessment in her curriculum for 7th and 8th grade. When I talked to her earlier this year, she's looking at finding ways to utilize our tech skills assessments as well as they move forward. And then also she's trying to talk her colleague that teaches the 5th and 6th grade same classes into utilizing the ISTE assessment as well, so that way they can have it as a common assessment tool. They can check and see how students are progressing as they go through each of the 4 grades. Candace in Heartland utilizes both of our ISTE student assessment and our tech skills assessments with the 7th and 8th grade technology classes that she teaches. Digital literacy is her main key with that one, and getting her students to be very confident and comfortable with the digital learning environment. And also Vicki with Prairie Lakes at Bishop Garrigan. She does utilize our main core of resources as well as both the ISTE students and the tech skills as she helps the students kind of work through their digital literacy skills with her tech courses. Bless you.
All right. Well, thank you, Christine. I'll let you catch your breath here for a few moments. So Christine really touched on some great examples that she's worked through with a number of your colleagues there in Iowa that are really helping us build up that relevancy and awareness and ensuring that we're aligning to not only just usage of atomic learning there, but actually having an impact and seeing some potential powerful outcomes there at many of the districts and schools there in Iowa. So the next area beyond relevancy and awareness that we had talked about was providing ease of access and really some improved access options. So I want to touch on a couple here today. Middle of last year, I remember we sat down with Karen on the phone and we talked through some ways that we could improve the access. And one of the options that came up was a provisioning tool. It's our understanding that this is done with other resources there in Iowa where whether it's students, staff, teachers, they're able to go on and through a link create their own account to that particular resource. And so we have created a number of provisioning tools for, we've gone down to the building level, I believe, yeah. Correct? So that is available at every single building there in the state of Iowa. We have a provisioning tool available that if someone doesn't currently have access, they can simply go to this area and create their account within a matter of about 30 seconds. So one of the ways that we've improved providing that ease of access to all users in the state of Iowa.
I will say a really quick shout out and thank you to all of those who have also been working with us during the process, to whether it's adjusting locations because location names changed or buildings have shifted and that type of thing. Thank you very much, because we do appreciate the work with working on us and getting those going. So
great. And the next area that we would talk about was through integration. So we recognize that a number of your teachers and your students are probably living within other systems within their daily lives, one of them being a learning management system. So we have worked with a couple districts already, including, it looks like we have Dyke New Hartford Community School District and Independent School District. These are just a couple of examples, both from AEA 267, that we've integrated using the Canvas LTI tool. This is allowing them, we have a number of schools that may host some of their PD resources within Canvas, and the benefit of this is all of our courses that we've talked about already can seamlessly be integrated into Canvas, and then you can utilize a lot of Canvas's tools like the Grade Center through the LTI tool. So they're able to provide this in a resource that their teachers are comfortable with, but be able to monitor completion of those resources through another area they're already comfortable with too, which is the Canvas Grade Center. Same with the students. So Christine provided a number of examples of teachers using this in the classroom, using some of the atomic learning resources. If they're using an LMS such as Canvas or Moodle or any of, we've got a number of LMSs we work with, they can also easily integrate any of these into their courses and tie that back to the Grade Center as well, too, to be able to monitor and provide credit for those that are completed. So you see on the screen here today, any of the atomic learning resources. I just gave a couple of examples of whether it's some of the college preparation, and maybe it's some of the Canvas or the Minecraft project-based learning. All of that can easily be added into Canvas as well. Now, I know Christine had put on here a note that a number of the districts may use Moodle as well. That is another one that we can have a similar capability as well by integrating and offering to add those similar capabilities in there as well. So another way to really be providing seamless access to an area that they could have easy access to that. So
now we want to look ahead. So I think we're going to start with
Christine sharing some specific examples of things that are in the works, and then we can't help ourselves from brainstorming other possibilities, so we'll just share a few of those as well.
Yes, example is AA 267, like I already said earlier. My Deb team, we're ready to go. We're getting set for that February Train the Trainer PD session. 88 PD online. I'm actually working with Denise and Evan. Currently, I'm going to be helping and hosting a webinar, a Q&A webinar during the 28 Days of OLLI with the relevant resources there. Continuing to work with Tricia in Great Prairie to help develop the tech coaches that work with each of the buildings, as well as putting out a digital citizenship flyer that she's going to utilize with her team and into the school buildings. We've also kind of taken a look at possible pilots for the Angela Myers collection with her team this spring. Keystone, I have been invited to present to KPEC. Norma, I haven't forgotten. I have the registration on my task list for today, so no worries. I haven't forgotten you for in June. So I'm also working with Hannah on the CT Careers online site. And finally, with Mississippi Bend, working with Julie Larson and her team. Sorry, Julie, that we weren't able to meet in person while we were down there, but we'll be able to catch you virtually later this week, and as well as for the February 18th meeting that she's going to be having regarding her initiatives. And you know, as we're looking ahead, again, I do greatly look forward to continuing to work with each of you. It's been a very fun year getting to know all of you, and I look forward to continuing that partnership.
So a few other ideas that we've just been kind of saying what if, that we thought would be at least worth sharing as a starting point today. And if some of them go somewhere, excellent. And if we determine, no, that doesn't really fit our needs, that's fine too. But these are just very much those what if type ideas. So the first, when I talked about the learning model, the learn it, do it, see it, prove it, and the different components of it, I mentioned that we could see future possibilities that could be pretty interesting, especially because of the AEA structure that we work with in Iowa. And the first is really this voluntary professional learning community, or almost like a virtual book study type approach, where we could work with you to pick specific courses that have the new learning model tied to it. And if a group of teachers wanted to be able to work together around that course, they would be able to use the Learn-Its to consume the information, but then spend time in almost like this virtual book study type approach, working together on the do it exercise, and then having the ability to come together virtually to actually talk about how they interpreted the information, how that relates to their classroom situation, ideas that they maybe have, and really being able to have the value of that collective discussion that really helps you apply the learning. And in the process, you could end up having potentially artifacts that they're producing through that could be leveraged by other teachers within the state as well. So that's something that we think could be a really interesting approach, and could be done at an individual AEA level or at a broader level as well. You want to touch on the next one, Deb?
Sure. We recognize that as the new learning model shows, that a lot of value comes from sharing some of the best practices and experiences and such too. And we know oftentimes you have meetings, and as you are this week, and oftentimes you've got a number of conferences as well. But we're always happy to facilitate and help host maybe a virtual conference around specific topics that might be of interest, where we can help facilitate that organization and some of the discussions. There may be times too where we can pull in some of our subject matter experts from our teams, or some of the individuals that we've worked with to create some of these resources, helping to provide some of those further insights beyond what you're finding here on our particular resources as well. So,
And really with both of those first two items, we note it as virtual, but it wouldn't necessarily have to be either. We could take that same approach if there was an opportunity where a lot of people were going to be together anyway, and apply that in an in-person setting as well. And then I think the third bullet, really Christine has been sharing tons of examples today of just that.
Yes. And I'm willing to do this with each of you, not just necessarily just for the AEA PD online courses, but anytime that you have topics or content that you would like assistance with doing some content mapping or some resource alignment, I'm more than happy to help out. I know this site pretty well and in and out, and it would probably be a little bit easier and faster for me to be able to assist you with it. So definitely feel free to utilize me as an additional resource for you.
And I think related to that, one of the things that we're doing now is when we produce a new course, we're internally mapping that course to which of those 5 problems that we talked about at the very beginning does this course really help support. So student engagement, teacher effectiveness, maximizing the ROI, et cetera. So it's very easy for Christine to be able to, if you call her up and say, we're really looking for some ideas on increasing student engagement, to very, very quickly be able to share some examples of what are some of the best courses that we feel help with that particular area of need.
Absolutely.
we have a number of our employees this week down in Texas in the snowstorm, but they're attending a conference down that area, and we did a nice content alignment project that aligns to a lot of the topic strands at that particular conference. But we certainly could share that as an example of some of the work we could do, whether it's around different initiatives or different strategies, part of strategic plans that you have, but we could certainly share that with you as an example of some of the content alignment that Christine is happy to do, whether it's at the AEA level or at a district level. We can look at a number of different areas there as well. So,
and really the point of not just this slide, but the entire discussion today is hopefully to spark ideas for you, to be able to hear what some of your colleagues have been doing over the past year in working with us, and where we've been able to kind of pinpoint things around their needs, where directionally some of our courses and approach are going, and how that might be able to spark ideas for how that could be applied within your area of need. So I hope that there were definitely some aha moments over the course of today, whether it was just a single course title that really jumped out at you, or an approach that we shared that could be a great approach that you want to be able to apply as well. And I think with that, we're definitely open to any questions.
We wanted to leave a little bit of time in case anyone had questions.
All right. That's what I was looking for. Was Christine and I talk at least on a monthly basis, and she keeps telling me about projects she's working on. It was really nice to get that big bird's eye and the big picture view of what all has been going on. And I really appreciate all the work she is doing here in the state of Iowa for us. I did want to get some clarification because I think I know the answer, but I just need to make sure. You mentioned that one of the districts, I think, is working with the Angela Myers collection, and that is a special collection of resources that is available as an add-on to our Atomic Learning for the right price. Is that, am I understanding that correctly?
That is correct. So there are actually two. You mentioned one of them, Karen, which is the Angela Myers collection. That is a collection that really has a couple of key components to it. The main focus is really on digital literacy. And then there's also a course element within that focuses on the message "You Matter." And if any of you have seen Angela as a keynote, you'll be familiar with her "You Matter" message, but it's all about how to help individual students unleash their inner belief in themselves and their belief that they can make a difference, and how to help teachers be able to really make that come alive in the classroom every day. So the Angela Myers collection is one of those options that can be an add-on. And the other is relatively new, and it's our Real World Safety collection. And that is a collection that we developed in partnership with a former Navy SEAL and a former U.S. intelligence agent. And it focuses on how to help individuals, whether they're students, teachers, parents, you name it. I've been through the whole course. I'm making my teenage daughter go through the whole course. But it's all about how to have better awareness about your personal safety and to take steps to prevent yourself from getting into an unsafe situation, and in the hopefully not likely event that you do face a dangerous situation, ways to try to ensure that you successfully get out of that situation. So those are the two collections that are additional options that are available, and Christine has all the details on that if anyone is interested.
And to tag on with the real world safety, it's excellent for students, but it's also excellent for teachers and staff because it gets into a lot of the risk assessments and the awareness of your surroundings and that type of thing. And definitely, as being somebody that comes from an educational situation where there was a school shooting, it is of ultimate benefit to have that extra presence of mind to understand your surroundings and your situation. So it's a fantastic extra collection.
It's all about a safety mindset,
Yes.
basically, is the theme of the course, or of the collection.
Does that help, Karen?
Yes, thank you. Others with questions or comments?
This is Cheryl. I was just, would encourage you to, when you're working with Evan Abbey, who's a lead on the AEA PED Online, some of your course ideas sound like they might be an option to attach some credit to it as well in a partnership with Evan and with an AEA, because sometimes that, teachers appreciate having the option to earn some credit as a result. So Evan would be a great contact to see if somebody could work something out.
Cheryl, this is Denise Clifton. I work for AEA PD Online, and I'll bring that in our meeting with Evan. So,
Did that sound like a good idea?
yeah, I think it has some merit. I've been kind of processing through some things that as I've heard, I came in late. I do have one question, and it came about as looking at some of the samples you shared. Am I right in understanding that districts can create their own video and put them in Atomic Learning then, or am I wrong on that?
Yep. Districts
Correct.
and AEAs, they have the capability to utilize what is called our custom training feature, where you're able to create your own custom series and incorporates your resources along with our resources as well. And Denise, I'd be more than happy to show you, to step you through that. It's nice to meet you, at least via phone. We've been emailing back and forth so far, but.
Yes.
And Cheryl, thanks for that
we can do
suggestion.
So, thank you. I look forward to working with you.
Yes, me
Great.
too.
Yeah, and Cheryl, thanks for the suggestion as well. We definitely have done that type of credit alignment with other partners in the past, and especially with the new learning model, it actually should make it very, very easy to really define what is the scope that would earn that credit. So thanks for the suggestion. That'll be a great item for us to follow up on.
Hi, this is Susan from Heartland. And I wasn't aware of the Angela Myers and the Real World Safety collections. Do you offer pre-trial periods for those?
Yes, we do. Yep. Susan, would you like to? We can set up, I can get a hold of you and we can set up a meeting to kind of take a look through. I can kind of show you through it, and then we can look at when you'd want to set up the trial for.
Great, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks for asking, Susan.
Karen,
Is that
with those
something
trials-
that's statewide that we would want to do for a short period?
That's what I was going to ask, Karen. Thank you.
And maybe the ideal for that would be to almost do like a webinar where Christine could give an overview of both collections to anyone that's interested, so we can get a broad swath of information, and then be able to allow people a chance to go take a look at it.
Yep.
I think we need to talk about that, Christine.
Okay.
That we can do, ma'am.
Very good, very good.
Any other questions?
I'll just add from our perspective at AA 267, it's been a good experience working with Christine to develop some customized training for us. So I would encourage you. We just kind of came at it from all different angles, and I think it's coming together quite well. So it is exciting to learn more about the product that we've had for a number of years and how we can better utilize it for our staff, our teachers, and also now our students with all of the course development options.
Great.
Excellent. Thank you, Deb.
Yeah, and I would just underscore that I'm not the only one who needs to talk to Christine. I really have a lot of respect for the way she hits the pavement running every morning when she gets up. She has to, for all the contacts she makes and all that she's accomplishing with us this year especially. Hats off to you, Christine. Thank you. But do contact her. I don't always know what you need at your AEA level. Be in touch with her and work it out with her, please.
Thank you.
Her contact information's up on the screen.
Yes. And Karen, like I said, I will get this to you, so if you want to forward it out then.
I certainly will.
Everyone has it with links. Okay.
Fantastic. Well, we've got a few follow-up items on our list that we'll be looking forward to having continued dialogue on. And I just wanted to make sure that we could use this opportunity also just to thank you, not just for today's meeting, but we really have had found that the last year has been just an enjoyable time period to work together in really reinventing atomic learning in the state of Iowa and being able to really hone in on how can we start to pinpoint specific areas of needs with each of the AEAs and really start to build out a much more relevant and tailored program. And for that, we're so appreciative of the partnership and the opportunity to really work with each of you in building a program that's going to be right for you, because ultimately that's what we're focused on, is what's going to work for you, not what's going to work for us. And I think it's proven to be a really great partnership this past year, and one that we greatly appreciate and look forward to continuing to develop.
Thank you. Very good. Right. Thank you so much for your time. I'm glad we were able to make this work in spite of the blizzard. So.
Yeah, and please be safe. Yes.
Thank you.
All right. We'll talk again
Thanks,
soon.
everyone. We need to just stop. You just need to stop sharing, Karen, I am assuming, and then we're